I'm going to teach you today how you can leverage a book so that you can get more clients, more leads, and you can become the icon in your industry. So, the number one thing that a book will do for you is it will give you powerful branding tool and gives you credibility and positions you as the expert. Now, I know that some of you are like, well, I'm not the expert. I don't know if I should write a book. Well, whatever you have up here is your expertise, right? You got to get that into a book. Once you have a book, then you can become the authority and the leader and you can get speaking gigs, right? As soon as you have that book, you can have it's almost like a high value business card, right? You can hand that out. You can give it out on the plane. One of my favorite stories from our mentor is that he was on an airplane and he saw Richard Dreyfuss. I don't know if you know who Richard Dreyfuss is. He's in What About Bob and tons of really great movies. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's one of my favorite ones that he's in. But he's in some great movies. But he was in first class and they had a layover. And so my mentor went up to him during the layover and said, hey, I know that you have a foundation and I also have a foundation. And I know that page 40 of my book will help your foundation. And he gave him the book. And he's a marketer, he does marketing. And he gave him the book. And inside the book, he wrote on the front cover, I know read page 40, I know will help your book. And he did a little tear, folded the page down on page 40. So, anyways, Richard Dreyfuss went up to him and said, hey, like, I need to talk to you. So let's get you on the seat right next to me. So they bumped him up to first class and they sat next to each other and they talked the whole rest of the plane ride about how he could help him get his foundation more, get more money for his foundation, right? How to market his foundation. So it's really awesome. And he also was on his podcast. So a book can do so many things for you, open doors for you. If you have a book, people are going to know that you're the expert, right? So that's what it can do. It can help differentiate you from the crowd. So you want to definitely leverage your book. And the first thing to do that is with lead generation. Now, everyone knows that selling your book on Amazon is fun and awesome, but Amazon doesn't tell you who gives you, like, who buys your book, right? They don't say, here's your reader. Let me tell you, it's way different than an Amazon seller central account, which a lot of people are like, oh, I sell on Amazon, so I know all my customers' names and address. Well, it's not the same if you're just doing a book sold on Kindle Direct Publishing or through Ingram. So they don't give you the names. Barnes and Noble doesn't tell you, hey, here's the people who read your book. They don't. So that means that you need to figure out a way to have a call to action in your book to make sure that you have a way for them to put their name and email in so you know who your readers are, right? And then you can get those leads. So one of the great strategies, I just did a podcast with someone on our Elite Publishing podcast, and he does the free book strategy. And the free book strategy is when you put your book on your website for free plus shipping. So you might have the shipping at $7.95 or $8.95, depends on, maybe you can even get it for $5.95 if you don't want to make any money at all. You just got to find out how much it costs to ship your book, right? It depends on how much weight it is, what envelope you're using, how much USPS is going to charge, if you're going to use a fulfillment center to do that, or if you're going to package them yourself, right? There's different ways to do it. Of course, if you want to sell hundreds and thousands of your book from your website, you'd want to use a fulfillment center to do that. If you're just starting out small, you can ship them off yourself. But that is going to help to get your names and emails, right? It's going to capture those leads so that you can market them for your coaching service or for any of the other services that you provide. Of course, a book is also really good for a sales funnel. A lot of people will do that as an ebook instead of their paperback or their free book. So you can definitely do that. But a book can help leverage your speaking engagements. We just had an author who got 300 book orders, bulk book orders, because she's going to be speaking at their event. And so they're ordering the books before she arrives so that when she speaks, they'll have the books there for the people to buy. And so it's a win-win for everybody. And of course, your book is going to help with networking and partnerships. So you can gift your book, you can give it away. That's one of my favorite things to do. I like to have some in my garage, right? I like to have it, not my garage, sorry, my trunk of my car, because you never know, or in your bag, with you. You never know who you're going to meet. Similar to our mentor who met Richard Dreyfuss on the plane, you just never know who you're going to meet that you can give your book to. And even if it's not a celebrity and you give someone your book, Of course, you want them to be interested in it and you have that conversation before you offer to give it to them. You want to make it not weird, right? You want to just be handing out books for the fun of it. You want to make sure that it's something that are interested in and that they want, right? Another really cool thing that I've been doing, which is kind of fun because I love to travel, then a lot of the hotels and the cruise lines that I go on have the free book exchange where you can just take a book, leave a book. And so I'll bring some of my books and leave them there, which is kind of fun. So bring them to the hotels, leave them in the library, bring them to the cruises you're on and leave them in the library. And then people will read your book and you might get a new lead from that, especially if at the very beginning you have your call to action. You have your QR code right at the very beginning. Awesome. Now let's talk about personal brand. So you can use your book to help your personal brand. So definitely with your social media, you can repurpose the content. So we love taking quotes out of the book, making sure that you have content for your social media by doing like live Q&A. You can just be reading your book. There's so many ways that you can create social media content from your book. And of course, podcast guesting. You can be a guest on a podcast, just like we have on our podcast, Elite Publishing Podcast. We have guests on all the time, and we only interview people that have a book, right? We actually have a podcast we've been doing for 10 years called the Elite Expert Insider Podcast. And you can check that out on our YouTube channel. But we've been doing that for over 10 years. And a lot of times we don't pick someone unless they have a book. So just the fact that you have a book will help you get on podcasts, help you be seen as the authority and the expert. And then, of course, you can use your book to get reviews, testimonials, and case studies. And a lot of times that's what's in your book, right? You have some proof in there of what you do and how you do it. What are the next steps for you? Well, the next steps are to make a marketing plan, figure out how you're going to use your book to get your new leads, to get more business, and to brand yourself. And if you don't have a book yet, then you need to talk about and write down what am I going to do? What am I going to write about? What's my expertise? Right? You're going to be trying to figure out the key points on what is your core message. What is that? What is it that aligns with your business that you want to put in your book? And then you can create that marketing plan, right? So number one is have the book. If you don't have the book yet, reach out to us. We can help you. We have a VIP day that we do the book writing for you. There's a lot of AI tools you can use, and you can check out the other videos on our channel to talk about how you can write it. That's how you get your branding and how you can make money and leverage and build your personal brand by having a book. So hope this video was helpful for you, and talk to you soon.